Would you ever get into coaching?
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Just answer the question, bro. Come on, just answer.
Yes.
Ooh. Hey, you need a receiver coach?
Yeah. Yo, welcome to RG3 and The Ones, a Wave Sports and Entertainment original presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Robert Griffin III, and on this show, we're going to be talking to the ones. I mean the ones at the top of the industry in sports and entertainment who don't just know the game, but also study the game and can deliver it to you so you can take one thing from this episode to allow you to become the one in your own life. Who am I? I'm just the one who was freezing his ass off in Baltimore for Monday Night Countdown, so cold I couldn't even move my neck. Honestly, I don't think I could have worn enough layers. But I'm also the one who told you guys that Brock Purdy is not a game manager. He's a game changer, and he proved it in the divisional round. But before we get to that, I want you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also understand that you gotta follow us on social media at RG3 and The Ones. We're going to be dropping episodes every single Thursday, and we're going to be dropping clips from those episodes on our social handles so you can keep up with what's going on. So we want you to go ahead and follow us there so you can keep getting these gems that we're going to be giving you guys. Also, you can listen to us anywhere you get podcasts. So like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts so we can have a blast and keep this bad boy rolling. Coming up on this episode, I'm talking to the one who can catch a football with his eyes closed. I'm talking about the one they call the Beast. 13 NFL seasons, 6-time Pro Bowlers. He holds the record for the most receptions in a single game in 21 of them bad boys. And not only that, he's done everything on the field and also off the field as he's an Emmy-nominated sports personality and studio analyst. I'm talking about the one and the only Brandon Marshall. Welcome to the show, brother.
Bro, that was awesome. And no, seriously, you said it, right? Nominated for an Emmy, and those two nominations came when I was still active. I was at the peak of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I sit back and I watch, everybody in this space. I see the guys that was before me, that came behind me, and you're one of the guys that was after me, bro. When I say, so proud of you, and you're just crazy talented.
Oh, man.
It's unbelievable. I don't know if you hit the complex top 25 this year, but you should be. I don't know. They tripping. They sleeping on you, bro. They keep talking about Pat McAfee, the hardest working man in the showbiz. Bro, I don't know. They might have to see you, bro. You everywhere.
Come on now. Appreciate that, man. And I did make the top 25, so shout out to Complex Mag for that. I think I was 21.
Don't act like you don't know.
I don't know because I know I was too low. That's all I'm saying. Way too low.
Watch this. Now watch this. How many touchdowns did you have in your career? How many touchdowns did you throw for in your career?
Honestly, I don't know.
That's cap.
I really don't. I don't know how many touchdowns I had in my career. I'm not a stat guy. I don't pay attention to that type of stuff. I try to just tell the stories of the guys that are playing now. So I don't really focus on all those numbers, but I want to show love where I feel like it's deserved. And for what you've done on the field and off the field, man, I think you deserve all the love, especially with that intro. That's real. That's coming from the heart. No fake with me ever.
I love it. I appreciate that. That's interesting. I would have taken you as a stat guy.
I'm not listen, some of it is I don't really pay attention to what I've done because I've already played. My career playing is over unless the team wants to call me. I'll be ready to go. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about that no more. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about before we dive into this playoff conversation is it true that you played safety at UCF in college?
That's correct. My junior year, I played safety.
So we almost had Brandon Marshall, the safety in the NFL, is what you're trying to tell me right now?
No, it was just to help. It was just to help the team out. So my dream school, got to go back a little bit. My dream school, since I was a little boy, was University of Florida. I wanted to be a Gator.
Okay.
So get through my senior year, it got me on the board. Coach Spurrier had me on the board at athlete, potentially quarterback.
Okay.
He goes to Washington, then Redskins, now Commanders.
Right.
In comes Ron Zook. Ron Zook now sees me 6'5", 195 pounds, 200 pounds. He's like, yo, that's my safety. So he offers me at safety.
Okay.
I'm sitting down there on that Sunday, and I'm like, Coach, just get me through camp to prove to you that I can play wide receiver.
Right.
That's 3 weeks. If I don't prove to you in 3 weeks, you can put me anywhere on the field. He looks at me and he says, do you want to be a Gator or not?
Ooh.
And I look at my dad who was sitting next to me there. I was like, Dad, let's just go to UCF. You know, they're offering me at wide receiver.
Right.
I go to UCF, I play wide receiver. Fast forward to that junior year. That junior year, we had 6 DBs go down. So you have Mike Sims Walker, who was my roommate. He was a dog wide receiver. He made it to the NFL at wide receiver. He goes over there at cornerback. I go over there at safety because we already had some seniors in front of us at the wide receiver position. He leads UCF that year in interceptions. I lead the team in tackles. And then the following year, we go back to wide receiver.
Oh, my gosh. That's unbelievable. Now, I watched your entire UCF college highlight tape. Bruh, I know you look big in the NFL. But in college, oh my goodness, you was towering over these dudes. I saw one corner, he looked like Mini-Me when he was guarding you out there. So for that part of it, with you playing safety in 2004, I believe that was your junior year. If you could see a guy right now that's playing wideout in the NFL, who do you think would be one that could potentially make that transition over and play the safety position?
Play safety. Well, listen, at first it's like a guy that I just, I think about their mindset and their attitude at the wide receiver position. AJ Brown, he's not 6'5", 230, but the dude is a monster. I love what he do with the ball in his hands after, the play start, once he catches it, excuse me. So AJ Brown is someone that I think about that jumps off the screen. Okay. Because he plays with a lot of attitude, a lot of anger. You know what I'm saying? So AJ Brown would be the guy that I would say can probably go over there and play safety and be next level.
Here's the thing. I'm not surprised that you said AJ Brown, but I for sure thought you were going to say DK Metcalf, this big towering sucker. And he got a little attitude to him as well. I thought for sure you was going to say he'd be the one to play safety.
DK got a lot of attitude, He would be a good one. I would put AJ at strong safety, and we put DK at free safety.
Okay.
Got more range, right? Sideline to sideline. What you want to do? Cover 3. What you want to do? You want to put him 1-on-1 with Tyreek Hill, who's faster?
Okay, I see that. Were you more of like a Cam Chancellor type of safety when you played at UCF? Would you describe yourself in that way, like how you were tackling and being in the box?
I was more like people will be like, he compared himself to this, but like I would say my game was more like an Ad Reed.
Oh,
right. Like
okay.
Can certainly hit you, but I'm going for the ball. Like I don't even understand why DBs want to go for the hit stick. Like hit stick don't get you paid. You know what get you paid? Turning the ball over.
That's true.
You feel me? So like I never understand that. Okay, you good job. You get big hit. It's going to make Sports Center. But guess what? Your ass going to make $3 million next year instead of 10.
That's true. And you're probably going to get fined, about $1 million
for
a couple of hits.
And it's like we play into the ego and you want all of that. It's like, no, I'm here to make money.
That's true.
So I would say Ad Reed. Ad Reed did a great job of knowing when to take somebody's head off. But also, he knew like the game was turning the ball over, whether it was stripping somebody, was intercepting the ball, going for that. He was legendary.
Well, I don't think that we missed out on seeing Brandon Marshall, the safety, because what you did as a wide receiver is legendary. So, but I would have liked to see you play a little bit of safety in the NFL, just selfishly myself. But as we're talking about this defensive side of the ball, right? In the playoffs right now, 3 of the top 4 teams all come in with defenses that ranked in the top 3 of points given up per game. Ravens are first, the Chiefs are second, and then the 49ers came in at 3rd. Obviously, the Lions are still there, but they weren't one of those top defenses. Did you anticipate the season playing out this way with these Final 4 being there, playing in the conference championship games?
Well, obviously, we've been talking about the 49ers, for a couple of years now, for a long time. Shanahan and that defense and what they've been able to do year after year after year. So that's no surprise to nobody.
Right.
The Detroit Lions, that's one of those teams where you got to remember finishing up last year, they were the second hottest or maybe the hottest team to end the year. There was the Jacksonville Jaguars and then it was them. Right. So who would have thought that, they would continue this into this year? And then they hit a little moment this year where it's like, are they elite? They still were winning games, but it's like, are they elite? It was almost like last year or 2 years ago when it was the Minnesota Vikings. They won like 11 games in a row, and we still was questioning the Minnesota Vikings, wasn't talking about them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they just turned it on here. So am I surprised? I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I'm not surprised by Detroit at all. Baltimore, you know what's surprising about Baltimore is the defense of what you said. This is a team that we've known like the history of this franchise to have a top tier defense, the Ray Lewis guys, right? The Ray Lewis played 17 years, it feels like.
Oh, forever. Yep.
Well, the last couple of years, they haven't been lights out on the defensive side. Now all of a sudden you give Lamar Jackson a top 5 defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
Yes.
That's different.
Yes.
Right. And then also the Chiefs. It's the same thing. Like Patrick Mahomes, 6 years as the guy, 6 AFC championships. But how did they get there? Well, 5 of the 6 by the offense. Now this year, the defense.
So what it sounds like to me, you're saying is defense, still wins championships. But I want to go back to the Lions for a second, because the conversation about game managers versus game changers, right? A guy that you have been doing a bunch of work with, Cam Newton, a guy that I have a lot of respect for and had him on the show already, enjoyed those conversations with him. It's really just taken over the entire NFL season. And when you look at Jared Goff, I wonder why people aren't giving him his respect. This is the second team that he's brought to an NFC championship game. He's played in a Super Bowl. And in each instance, it's always about the coach, right? When it was the Rams, it was Sean McVay. And now it's the Lions, and it's Dan Campbell, and it's Ben Johnson. But they never give Jared Goff the credit I believe he deserves. When he had he had Cooper Kupp. I know Kupp tore his ACL 8 games in. I believe it was in 2018. But he had Todd Gurley. He had Brandon Cooks, Higbee. You're talking about C.J. Anderson, all these dynamic players. And now he's got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sam Laporta. But it always seems to be an and but with Jared Goff. Why do you think that he doesn't get the respect he deserves? Or do you think he does get the respect he deserves?
Listen, he definitely deserves more respect, for sure. The quarterback position is the hardest position potentially in all of sports.
Right.
Like you guys got to come in and y'all got to be, relevant and connect with the guys in the locker room. But then you also leave the locker room and you may be sitting down with the owner talking about something or, going over game plan with the head coach, things that we don't have to worry about the receiver position or the running back position.
True.
So he certainly deserves more credit. And when you think about how you guys manage the game and operate in every single play, y'all got to be tapped in. Y'all got to know where everybody is on the field. Yeah. So he's done that at a high level, to your point, 2 NFC championships, right? Mm-hmm. So I say all that to say this. What's the one thing? What's his superpower?
I knew you was going to say that.
Makes us turn in. RG3, first off, you got one of the coolest nicknames ever.
Appreciate you.
RG3, you turn on, we could see you take off for 70 yards and outrun the fastest dude on the field on the other side of the ball, right? We can see you spin it, throw it 70 yards, right? So like there was a flair, there was an excitement, right? There was something that jumped off the field. Even with Cam, it was the same thing. Y'all are dynamic,
right?
Peyton Manning, the way he managed the game, it was like what down to the last second,
right?
Omaha, Blue Goat, right? Like. So when it comes to Jared Goff, it's just like he's playing at a high level, but it's nothing that really jumps off outside of that. And I love Jared Goff and I respect it.
Right. I would say I don't disagree with the premise of what's his superpower. Part of his superpower is the ability to make the right decisions at the right time and not hurt the team. Right. When he doesn't throw an interception, the Lions are 10-1 on the season. Right. I think they're 4-4 when he does throw an interception. But to me, the conversation also has to go to a guy like Brock Purdy. Jared Goff's the first pick in the draft. Brock Purdy's the last pick in the draft. And both of them are getting the same treatment, right? Purdy's got Debo, CMC, Kittle, Ayuk, Juszczyk, Trent Williams, all these different guys. And he's still getting that same, what's his superpower? But I believe that Brock Purdy is not a game manager. I believe he's a game changer. And that last drive of the game, when he had to make the throws and he had to make the runs in the scramble drill to lead them to a victory, he did it. those were game-changing plays. What's your take on Brock Purdy and this discussion about him not being he's not a good quarterback, or he's just benefiting from the guys around him?
I agree with you, bro. And it may be like even like a Russell Wilson type situation as well, where Russell had dope defense, and then he had a beautiful running back in Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
And then he had and then it was Pete Carroll, right? But let's not forget, bro, like this is the most winningest quarterback through 10 years. And we talk about making the biggest plays, one of the most clutch quarterbacks the game has ever seen.
100%.
But you can lose the net. You can create a bad narrative around a Russell Wilson because of who he's surrounded with. So it's Brock Purdy as well.
Correct.
It's the same thing. Great coach. You got like some great playmakers. You got this legendary defense. But if you go back to the first game that he took over when Jimmy Garoppolo went down, he didn't miss a beat. The moment wasn't too big for him. He gets out to the right. He throws a touchdown. And then he jumps in the air and he goes, ah. And then he looks and he does something with his hands. And I said, yo, he has the moxie, he has the flair. And that's 100%. When I knew, I was like, this kid is for real. And then he goes 6 games in a row and he's making big plays.
Right.
So from day one, because we were having this conversation, I was having this conversation with like Ray Lewis, Phil Simms, and Michael Irvin. I was like, no, this dude is the real deal. That's all I needed to see was those first six games.
Yep.
So I believe he's a game changer for real. Like, dude is next level.
Yeah. So sometimes we have these conversations and we start pitting quarterbacks against each other, right? So my colleague Ryan Clark says, how is Brock Purdy going to beat these other guys? How is he going to beat a guy like Lamar Jackson or a guy like Patrick Mahomes or even Jared Goff? He doesn't believe that he's even at that level. What do you think about that when it's really about a team effort? Like, teams win the Super Bowl, teams win championship games, not just the quarterback. The quarterback's a big part of that, but it's a team effort. What's your take on that?
Literally just talked about that earlier on our show. And I was shocked that came from Ryan, because Ryan, you got to think about, like, Ryan has extremely high football IQ,
right?
And he's been on some really good teams. So you can look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's been Roethlisberger without, that defense that they had. Is the defense able to play the way they play if, they didn't have the running game that they had, or Ben Roethlisberger being able to do Ben Roethlisberger things?
Correct.
And so Brock Purdy, like, we can't knock Brock Purdy, because he's actually in a situation that if we're general manager, head coach, that's our job, is to surround our guys with guys.
Thank you.
So it's not Brock Purdy. It's not Brock Purdy versus them. It's Brock Purdy has a team around him, and can they play complementary football to beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Yep. No, I'm 100% with you on that.
Why do we do that? And that's the other thing. And this is not not even talking about Ryan anymore, but it's interesting that we do that, bro, where it's like, oh, but that guy got this guy, that guy, etc. Isn't that the general manager doing his job?
Yeah, he's doing his job.
Why, like, you don't get why do we rate guys differently because they got guys? Tom Brady, the thing is, we think Tom Brady didn't have guys. Tom Brady was surrounded by guys.
He had dudes. Both sides of the ball, he had dudes. So I'm with you on that. I don't think, I call it little dog energy. Like, when you talk about guys that are upset about Brock Purdy, listen, we celebrate these stories in sports all the time. He was Mr. Irrelevant, like, undersized, not the strongest arm, not the fastest guy in the world, although he is mobile and athletic. We celebrate those stories. Why are we tearing down Brock Purdy because he's in a situation that quarterbacks dream of being in?
That's right.
I'm not going to tear him down for that. I would love to throw to those dudes. I'm happy for him. I'm not going to knock him for that. And the discussion doesn't have to be around who's better, this, that, or the other. Yes. Are you taking Brock Purdy over Patrick Mahomes? No. Are you taking Brock Purdy over Lamar Jackson? No. But that doesn't mean that they can't win the Super Bowl as a team.
That's right.
The bottom line is they've been in 4 NFC Championship games in the last 5 years. What do you think needs to happen
question? So what's the question? The question is, tell me. So we talked about superpower.
Yep.
Jared Goff's superpower, and I do agree with you. His superpower is that, right? Like, he can run the offense at extremely high level, make great decisions. So
Correct.
now the other end of that for Brock Purdy, what's his weakness? So I need everybody out there talking about Brock Purdy to tell me, say, okay, well, this is his weakness. Don't tell me his weakness is that he has great guys. No, talk to me about the quarterback position. Is he smart?
Yep.
Can he throw the ball? Is he efficient?
Yep.
Is he accurate?
Yes.
Right. Like you got to tell me, does he turn the ball over? Like,
Nope.
What's the weakness?
I'm with you. I'm with you. They'll say, hey, he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. It's like, but you don't need that. If you watch that touch pass he threw on the dagger concept, which is a staple of a Shanahan offense, that is a skill. And he did it in the rain when he was having a bad game. So I agree when you say what's his weakness, even if you told me what's his superpower, I believe Brock Purdy's superpower isn't about what he does better than the rest of the guys. It's about what he does better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Because that's why they needed him. Jimmy didn't give them the off-schedule plays. He didn't give them the clutch throws at the end of the game like the one to Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy makes that throw, in my opinion.
Right.
And he proved that in this last game when all the chips were on the table, man. He made the throws.
He's smooth, bro.
I love his game. And there's no hate in my heart for him. So when you look at it from that standpoint, just for that game, Niners-Lions, what do you think needs to happen or who do you think is going to win that game?
I wouldn't be shocked if the Detroit Lions win this game.
Ooh.
It's the 49ers game to lose.
Okay.
Man, there's something special happening in Detroit, as we all know. It's been 30 years. Listen, Vegas probably has them have the Detroit Lions as the underdogs, but bro, I think this should be for me, it's a pick 'em.
Ooh, okay.
It's a pick 'em, bro. It's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em because you got to think like you got one team like the Detroit Lions. They coming in with a lot of fire, edge, maybe some house money, and then you have the 49ers. Like they're supposed to be here, so are they going to play a little uptight? They're going to be nervous.
Okay. I would say this: if there was a team that could beat the Niners, it would be this Lions team. But when you look at the numbers, the Niners haven't been as great against the run this year. Mm-hmm. The Lions are a running team. They got that dynamic duo, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery.
Right.
The Niners are a run-based team as well with Christian McCaffrey, and that's how they set everything up. Trent Williams sets the tone. McCaffrey comes out, does his thing. He's the real MVP of that team. That's a conversation for another time. But the Lions give up the second fewest rushing yards in the NFL this year.
So it sounds like you saying that you're going with the Detroit Lions.
I didn't say that. I am saying
exactly what you said. I'm reading between the lines. You're very smart and very savvy. Like, bro, that's exactly what you just said.
I'm saying.
All right, well, pick it then.
I'm just saying there's an opportunity. If there was a team that could beat them, it would be the Lions. I am picking the 49ers to win this game. I believe that they're going to pull that off. And the next question for me is, who do you think has more positive juju as a team right now? Is it the Lions with Eminem, or is it the Kansas City Chiefs with Taylor Swift?
I would say it's the Detroit Lions for sure with Eminem. Okay. Taylor Swift, because there was some juju where it was the bad juju, right? There was a couple of games where it was like, that's it. Detroit for sure, bro.
So we got to go there with Taylor Swift. I don't disagree. She's not on the field, right? She's not making the plays. I think she's been more of a distraction to the media, like guys like ourselves, and the networks covering her, than she really has been to the Chiefs. But there was a moment this past week where Jason Kelce took off his shirt, was helping celebrate Travis Kelce's touchdown, right? Unbelievable moment. I do have to say this about Jason. What was your take, or how do you feel about him in the freezing cold, going with no shirt on and having on some Russell sweats?
Legendary. Legendary, bro.
Legendary.
Like, listen, it's just like, that's Gronkowski, you know what I mean? Back in the day. Like, there's some guys that just have it. He has it. You know, you go back to when they won the Super Bowl, the parade, he did the same thing, took off his shirt, chugged the beer, going to hockey games, doing the same thing, going to basketball games, the Sixers games, and doing the same thing. Yep. So, like, I just love everything that Kelce's are doing. They're great people. They're smart. Seem to be great teammates.
Love it.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
and it's creating an empire for them.
Oh,
I
100%.
love it, bro. And it's
100%.
natural and it's authentic. It's organic.
If I go to a game and I take my shirt off and I'm celebrating with no shirt on
Nobody
in 15-degree
cares.
weather, nobody cares. But when a big dude does it and he's got a hairy chest and he's a little plus size, it's so much better. And I just appreciate Jason for being willing to go out there and showcase himself in different lights and not be afraid of who he is.
That's right. And you know who's making it cool, who made it cool is the rappers, bro. Like
that's true.
Rick Ross,
100%.
first. And you know who recently just did it too?
Who?
Joe just did it.
That's true.
Like he literally just did it. Just go to his Instagram and post it there. So if anybody like big guys taking their shirts off, you got Fat Joe doing it. You got Rick Ross still do it, and you got Jason Kelsey. I love it.
Nobody shaming. Nobody shaming here. We all having a good time.
I can't believe it. I'm forgetting.
It's Dawkins from the Bills.
What am I about to say? You see, you were right there. You saw his outfit when he came into the game. He was wearing no shirt. That was the dopest fit of the year for me.
All right, people, your favorite part of the show has come. It's PrizePicks, baby. RG3 and The Ones is presented by PrizePicks, and PrizePicks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. I'm having a blast. I don't know about you guys. It's super simple, though. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Testing my skills on PrizePicks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, and you know I got the skills, do you? You can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. PrizePicks is really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. There's quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and a huge selection of players and stat types. That's what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. So let's get into it. This week on PrizePicks, I'm selecting Lamar Jackson to score a rushing touchdown. Listen, guys, last week he had 2 rushing touchdowns. And when you look at this Kansas City Chiefs defense, they are one of the top 2 defenses in the NFL. And he's going to have to make some special plays with his feet. So that's why I'm going with Lamar Jackson. And my second pick is going to be Christian McCaffrey at more than 36.5 receiving yards. Why? Brock Purdy talked about last week how he needs to get to his check down just a little bit more. And guess who his check down is? CMC. So I'm going more than 36.5 receiving yards for Christian McCaffrey in this football game. So you have my picks. Daily fantasy sports is made easy with PrizePicks. Make sure you go to prizepicks.com/RG3 and use promo code RG3 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Again, go to prizepicks.com/RG3 and use code RG3 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Let's go make that money, people. Let's talk about the Chiefs Ravens now. Okay. I have coined off of our guy Cam and the conversation that he had about game managers and game changers. The NFC Championship game is the game manager bowl. For anyone out there that feels like Brock Purdy's a game manager and Jared Goff's a game manager, I don't feel that way, but it is what it is. Well, the AFC Championship game is the game changer bowl. I don't think anybody disagrees that Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are game changers. They are the modern day quarterback, beat you with their arm, legs, and their mind, and it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. So with Patrick Mahomes going on the road for just a second time in his career, how do you see that game playing out? Do you think that the Chiefs come away victorious, or you think it's the Ravens?
You had a moment when you first got in the league where you were unstoppable. Cam Newton had a moment in 2015 where he was just unstoppable, right? Won MVP. And Lamar's unstoppable. It's the Ravens' game to lose, bro. Like, you got to think this dude can throw for 170 yards, 200 yards, but then rush for 125, 150, and have 4 total tubs, okay, on the ground through the air. Dude, people don't understand how devastating it is to have a quarterback that can crush you on the ground. Look what Lamar did. It was 4th down. Maybe it was 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Boom, he goes pick it up. He could have kept going if he wanted to, but he gets down, right? It's like, how many times have we sat on the sideline, even you as a quarterback, and you feel like, oh, I'm about to go out there, it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and the opposing quarterback, he drops back, and then he takes off, and he picks up a 3rd and long. Are you kidding me? Right, so Yeah, so listen, I love that Patrick Mahomes, answered the bell where it's, yeah, I can go win on the road. But also, bro, they was trash towards the end of the year. Let's be honest. The Chiefs was trash. And then all of a sudden, he turns it on.
Yep.
He turns it on.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't think that was going to happen.
That's true.
Like, nobody, if we could have went out and said, all right, guys, it's week 18. Everybody can change your pick now. Everybody who said the Chiefs, you can now change it. Everybody would have changed it.
That's true. It's true.
But then they look phenomenal. Lamar, bro, like it's like he's doing it with like so much ease, so much humility. And then he has a defense now, a top 5 defense.
Yes.
Did y'all have a top 5 defense when you was there?
It wasn't a top 5 defense, but it was a top 10 defense. But I agree with you. Like, they got the best linebacker duo in the NFL with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. They've also got Kyle Hamilton, who can play at all 3 levels of the defense. He's got a big matchup going up against Travis Kelce there. But Geno Stone, their other safety, has got 7 interceptions on the year.
Right.
And for me, it's like, schematically, the Ravens are built to beat the Chiefs. They don't have a Joey Bosa or a Myles Garrett pass rusher, but they've got 3 pass rushers with at least 9 sacks and 7 guys with at least 3. They're coming from everywhere, B. Marsh. The way that they run their simulated pressures, you don't know where anybody is going to be blitzing from, and that's part of their secret sauce. Right now, this year for the Chiefs, or should I say this postseason, Mahomes has been sacked 0 times in the postseason. In the regular season, I believe they were 3-4 whenever he got sacked at least 3 times. So pressure, obviously, always on the quarterback is going to be the focus for a defense. But I think this Ravens team is perfectly situated to get that done. What do you think?
Well, game. So I love how you're hitting high level football. You're talking about the stats, right? Like, I didn't even know that Patrick Mahomes hasn't been sacked yet in the postseason, right? And those are things that you pay attention to,
right?
When you get close to, playoff time. Can you fix these mistakes, right?
Right.
Are these things fixable? And they were able to fix some key things, and that's why they're having success. But I just think, bro, when it comes down to it, and statistics show it, now I'm going to be a statistic guy like you too.
Right.
Like 90% of these games are defined by 3 to 4 points. And and I know that it comes down to moments. We can look back and be like, yo, there was 3 critical moments in this game. Yeah. Did you or did you not make the play? And I believe Lamar, Odell, Zay Flowers, like those type of guys, even Nelson Aguilar. How many times have we seen Nelson Aguilar make big plays, even this year, but going back to the Philly days when they won the Super Bowl? They just got guys, bro, that can make the big plays in those big moments. Yes. And so it's going to be a good game, but I just think like OBJ is going to do something special. Zay Flowers is going to do something special. Lamar is going to do something special. They just got special all over the field, bro.
Yes, I agree. And I got to correct that. The Chiefs are actually 1-3 in games where Mahomes gets sacked at least 3 times. But I agree with you wholeheartedly on the Ravens. The Ravens decided to subscribe to HBO. They decided to help a brother out. When it comes to Lamar, they gave him a 7-course meal. You like that one too? Write that one down. Write that one down.
You just be how you coming up with this stuff?
They gave that man a 7-course meal of playmakers, and they have the right amount of guys with championship pedigree. When you talk about OBJ and Aguilar, guys who have been in those situations before, and then young playmakers. So I also agree. I do believe that the Ravens will come out victorious. But when you talk about right now, it seems like you got Lions, Ravens. What do you think will be the difference if that ends up being the Super Bowl?
Lamar.
Okay. That's
he's unstoppable. And it's like, you notice you were around him.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like he just, how you that maturation is like I walk into my prime, I walk into that manhood. He's always been cool and calm, bro. But now it's just like, that's what I'm supposed to, that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. Look at after you blow out the 49ers. Who else did they beat? Who else did they blow out?
They blew out the Lions.
And then the Miami Dolphins too?
And the Miami Dolphins.
And what was his response, his reaction after the game and post-conference, bro? It's like, what, you want me to be excited? I'm not
That means nothing to him. He just
Bro,
wants to win the Super Bowl.
And I still, please tell me, you watch more football than I do. You watch everything. Is there one play this year that's like, oh my goodness,
right?
That's him. Like, I still haven't seen that one play where it's like 80 yards. I still haven't seen that. That's what I'm saying. He's actually, to Cam's point, he's been managing the game, right? Yes,
You spot on. You are spot on. I said this many, many weeks ago, right after Cam said the whole game manager, game changer thing. Sometimes as a game changer, you have to know when to manage the game. And Lamar's doing that better this year than he's ever done it in his entire career.
That's right.
100%.
That's right.
And so you said you got Lions, Ravens, so that means all the dice games is about to be getting real zesty out there, huh?
Now I didn't even say Lions. You see how you see how you.
I just said you kind of said Lions. I'll give you the opportunity. You picking Lions or you picking Niners?
Let's put it this way.
Okay.
I got the Lions to cover.
Okay. All right.
You like that's easy when you say it that way. It's like when you're like, I got the Lions to cover. It's easy that way. Because if they win, I think it was going to cover.
Exactly.
If they lose, they still cover the spread. They
still win.
You're right.
There you go. All right. You funny, bro. You funny, bro.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Ask me. What's up?
I love it. Sorry, I know this is your show. You do it for the
No, we good. This is a conversation.
All right. Is that a Christmas tree still up? Is that right now?
B Marsh, it is a Christmas tree. I did the thing I'm supposed to do, and I didn't plug it in. I unplugged it. There's no lights flashing, but it's still a nice little decorative tree. Like, they got people out there that keep up their trees, even though it's almost February. Like, it's okay.
So how long are you going to keep this tree up?
Honestly, it is now a prop for the show. I got the Funkos in the back over here. Got the Christmas tree right here.
Right.
Why? What's your opinion of people who keep the Christmas trees up?
Yeah, I'm a little judgmental. I'm a little judgmental. Like,
you don't like gifts? You don't like gifts? Come on.
If you'd have told me, like, yo, bro, I'm just so busy, I would have got it. Like, I get it. Like, I see you college football, then you doing some stuff with the, obviously in the NFL, you got your own podcast.
Right.
I get it. You create content 24/7. I get it. If you told me I'm just really just busy. But like, you're intentionally leaving this up. Wow.
Okay, so you're judging me for that. Well, I got to let you know, in the room right now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 other Christmas trees, little small plants. I can't show them to you because we don't want to mess up the setup. But you judging me for that. I saw on your show recently that 2 Chainz says he judges people by their first baby mama. Are you also doing that?
No, yeah, that's good. That's good because he's saying before you make it. I love what he said. I was trying to, like, where is he going with this? And I'm like, it kind of makes sense. He's like, look, I've been doing this. I've been on. My taste always been good. And that's how he got to the baby mama discussion. You can't get money, then all of a sudden now you know what I'm saying? We've seen that situation before. So
I've seen it firsthand. Let's go ahead and let's move forward. I will take down the Christmas tree. I don't know. March? Who knows? So you got to keep judging me for that one. But let's talk about you and just your transition, because you were one of the guys that really took everybody by storm when it comes to transitioning from the NFL or your playing career, should I say, into the media. Like, what made you want to get into the media? And then what was the origin? I don't want to say the origin story, but like, what made you want to do I Am Athlete?
Mental health. It is a long story, very intentional, very strategic. 2014, in the off season, I went to Harvard and I studied transition. We studied Live Strong, Lance Armstrong, Keanu Reeves, Boomer Esiason, Doug Flutie, Michael J. Fox, a lot of athletes and artists that ascended the field or the big screen, and they pushed to something in, the nonprofit world. And so what came out of that for me was content and commerce. And I thought my content was going to be ESPN, FS1, CNN type route, whatever.
Right.
And so it was very strategic. I couldn't understand why Magic Johnson was probably pushing $500 million at the time, but he was on ESPN, talking ball, So then when I realized it was a platform, And it just kept his name relevant to get to the main thing, which was his business and his nonprofit and his passions. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. And so I called myself going on tour. So, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm in year 6 right now. Every off season, January, summer, February, I'm gonna hit every network. I'm gonna go to Bristol, Connecticut, ESPN. Then I'm gonna fly out to LA, hit the entertainment world, and I'm gonna build the relationships with the producers. I'm gonna get the reps. I'm gonna develop. So about time I'm done, I'll transition into that.
Okay.
Right. And so that was the vision. But then the pandemic hit, and I was watching ESPN, and Stephen A. Smith had on AirPods. But he was on his computer just like this. And I was like, that's not First Take. I was like, dang, I got guys in my neighborhood that we can probably come together and sell a show. And so the vision was to sell a show. But then we start having real conversations like this, and it turned into this cultural, social phenomenon. And I was like, holy shit, like this could potentially be a platform. We can bring others along, because there was guys that we was working with that wasn't like you, bro, that, transitioned smoothly and beautifully into like ESPN, and now you're just like booming. These are guys that were doing local radio or nothing at all for 10 years or 10, 15 years post-career. And then all of a sudden people start rocking with us. And so that's when it turned into a platform, and it feels like a responsibility now. So, transition was my thing. It wasn't about media. It was like, what did I want to transition to and push back to? And obviously media is one of the most powerful things in the world.
So I believe, I don't know what you did first as far as like once you were absolutely done playing, but you were on First Things First there at FS1, correct?
That's right.
And what made you remove yourself from that and then go directly into just doing everything with I Am Athlete and Paper Route and everything else that you're doing?
It's interesting because I was already doing inside the NFL. So prime of my career was active and doing full-time broadcasting. Transition happened, and I was so head down on building out my wellness company, House of Athlete.
Okay.
Where we train some of the top athletes in the world, but we spun it out to supplements, spun it out to, digital app, hundreds of members, pretty cool. Like, something I was working on for a long time and passionate about, but we have mental health practitioners on site. Right. On Wednesday, there's no training. We have group therapy, recovery rituals, and all of that type of stuff, like everything I wanted to do. And so I was really heads down there. And Josh Pyatt, my agent from WME, hit me up and was like, hey, you got this opportunity. And I was like, nah, I can't do no 5-day-a-week show, man. I'm building this company. I invested $12 million into, well, at the time, it was probably like $5 million into what I'm doing. And I'm really passionate about it. I don't think I need it, right?
Okay.
Pandemic hit. And he was like, well, you can do it from home. And it was a lot of bread. A lot of bread. Like a lot of bread. I was like, what?
Right.
2-hour show, 30-minute production call. All right, let me take a shot at it, because then I can take that money and reinvest it into what I'm doing.
Correct.
And so I do it for a year. And what people don't understand, bro, a 5-day-a-week show is a grind. Even when we do, like booking, like people don't know, like I'm sitting here in New York in Times Square trying to get connected to this, and I'm making you wait 45 minutes while I'm getting connected. Like this is like I don't know who the hell grows up and say, I want to be in the entertainment business. It's the most stressful business in the world. Like you're always on. And so I had to make a decision at the end. And I was like, you know what? I can't do a 5-day-a-week show anymore. I need to put all my energy in building out this platform. Because then I got 2 startups.
That makes sense.
You got 2 startups, man, and 2 potential unicorns. You got brick and mortar that did 4.5 million in year 3. And then you got the media that did 5.5 in year 3. And so now I'm sitting in this space like, okay, what is this? How do I learn from our mistakes? How do I learn from our successes? What do we need to do? Push it forward. So I've been kind of in this space now of like, what's next? What do we need to do better? And so, I'm loving what I'm doing, bro, but it's hard work.
That was going to lead me to one of my other questions of what is the future for I Am Athlete? What does that look like going forward? Because I've seen you working with Cam. You guys have your I Am Iconic tour that you're on, and like you guys have a good vibe together, good chemistry together. What is the next step for I Am Athlete? And are you going to build out another cast? Like, what does that look like for you in the future? When did that dream not come to life? When was the first time you had a dream of making it to the NFL? Do you remember? Ooh, it was probably 7th grade, first game I ever played. We won 60-6.
How old were you probably?
I was, seventh grade. I had to be what, 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. Yeah.
You thought you was gonna make it to the NFL at 12?
Well, I hadn't played football up until that point. And I asked my mom if I could play. She didn't want me to play. She didn't want me to get hit, but I was really fast. So I said, Mom, I'm not going to get hit. And ironically, in that game, I didn't. I remember that game. I think I threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for 3, and we won 60-6. So I had a vision in my head like, wow, if I'm doing this in my first game, getting 10 yards is not a problem. Scoring touchdowns is not a problem. But when do you think that was for you? Or when did this dream of I Am Athlete come to fruition for you?
Yeah, so football was 6, at the age of 6.
Okay.
But those were big, audacious goals. So when you ask me about I Am Athlete, what I'm going to say is like big and audacious.
Okay.
We're going to build out the next gen ESPN.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to be honest, bro, like you do it right. And I know that's, I'm not going to put you in a bad position. Like that's, your employer and you're doing a phenomenal job, and ESPN was needed, and is still needed in a lot of ways. But I never appreciated how we talk about each other. I don't appreciate, saying like for someone to say, well, RG3, this and that. Well, can you do what RG3 does? Right? Have you ever did that? So I think there's an opportunity for us, bro, to create safe places for us and still hold each other accountable. Right? It's just like the locker room. Like that's all we're doing is covering that. And so instead of having these gotcha moments, instead of taking our high school athletes, I don't want to give that to you yet because I'm about to do something really cool with high school athletes.
That's awesome,
and
man.
Breaking news. But there's an opportunity to partner with our athletes, not take from our athletes and tear down our athletes, right? So like I want the Russell Wilsons of the world to say, you know what, I'm getting crushed right now, and I'm ready to talk, and I'm gonna go to my brother, I'm gonna go to RG3, I'm gonna go to B Marshall, because I know, they going to take care of me, but they'll still challenge me and they'll still give me their point of view.
100%. And I do have to say, I appreciate you obviously knowing, like, whenever we're doing content or creating, having these conversations, like there is still that other employer out there for me with ESPN. And I don't think that there's a problem with certain people having an issue with the way that sports is displayed, right? Even on our network. But you're right. I got into media not because I really wanted to. My agent kind of convinced me to do it, and I've had a blast doing it, because you don't have to do it that way of tearing down players and calling them fat or trash or this or that and the other. Like 0.2% of high school football players play in the NFL. We've created, just in the media in general, all networks have created this environment where it's okay to criticize the guys that do it at the highest level. Constructive criticism, I'm cool with that. He threw an interception. Let me tell you why he threw that interception and what he can do to be better. But to say this guy can't play, he sucks, he's this, he's that, that's not fair game. And I've never done it that way, and I'm not going to do it that way. So I'm all about doing it the right way for the players, so that, like you said, they feel like they have a safe space, but that safe space doesn't come without challenging.
That's right.
I think that's the right way to get it done. And I do believe that I can make that change.
That's right.
At ESPN. I really believe I can make that happen. And anyone that I'm on set with, I don't allow that stuff to go on when I'm on that set.
That's right.
I can't control everything. But when I'm on the set, we talking ball and we're having a good time. It's not about tearing these guys down. It's about telling their story the right way. And obviously, I was a guy whose story wasn't told the right way. So I feel passionate about that. But I appreciate you wanting to do that with I Am Athlete. Now, I got to ask this question. Everyone has been talking to you about the breakup with your original cast on I Am Athlete. I'm not going to ask you that question because I feel like it's been talked about enough. But I do want to ask this because I haven't heard anyone ask you this question. There was a guy by the name of Soulja Boy, you know who it is, and he went on the Breakfast Club and he talked about how somebody was taking his song or everything line for line, bar for bar. We got a guy by the name of Drake who says that imitation isn't flattery, it's just annoying to me, right? How do you feel about that when it comes to the pivot and the way that the breakup happened, and how it was like, I don't want to say a carbon copy, but it was like line for line, bar for bar with what you were doing at I Am Athlete.
It gives me more confidence. And it just gives me everything I need to continue to push forward, because like when you know, your gut is good, right? Because a lot of these things, like you're just trying, you're testing.
Right.
And so, but like when I say so intentional, you walk in and it's like, I never forget there was a moment, because I wanted like us to be a premium space. And we're in a pandemic and it's like, yo, let's dress up. And so we're doing it. We're crushing it for 10, 15 episodes. Then we start getting lazy a little bit. And I never forget, I had a call, you know, Ocho, Fred, Candy Crowder was all on it. I said, hey, yo, GQ Sports is doing a feature on this, yo. So everybody come fly. Right? There was no GQ Sports doing a feature. I just wanted us to maintain the standard, right?
Right.
And so when you see how we were taking pictures before the show, and then we brought a chef on, and we incorporated, you know, the chef and her voice and a different perspective, it's like everything was intentional, and there was a lot of trial by error. And so like when you see other people doing it, and even linear networks and traditional outlets, it's like, yo, you're good. Now bring it all together, because the product is the easy thing. Like, here's my 4 Ps, bro. It's like, and this is my, in this order, especially more now than ever. It's paper, it's people, process, then a product. So when you asked me earlier about like, you know, the crew, or you're going to do this and do that, I'm not even focused on the product right now. I know the product. I know how to go viral. Right. You know, I know how to book a guest and get 1 million views, 2 million views. There's thousands of athletes with a lot of personality that could take things and make it even better. But can I close $20 million round? So I then can go invest in my people, and then our people put in a process, and then we can consistently put out a product without no chaos and no fires, right? So it's paper, people, process, and then a product, right? Because like my vision, and when I say it, like we get, like our words are powerful, and we got to understand the stuff that we speak, right? It's like, no, bro, like if Barstool can have an exit at 740 million, why not us? Right? Why not you? Like now we can own our own IP. We can go be the next Mr. Beast, right? And so I truly believe in, you know, 3 to 5 years, bro, there's going to be a nice story to be told, but it's a lot of work. There's a lot of learning, right? A lot of work to do.
Nah, so I mean, give that to me one more time. You said the 4 Ps. What were those again?
So before it was people, process, and product. You know, like how
the 3
I
Ps,
function every single day. But now I'm at a point where, you know, I've invested, you know, $12 million into House of Athlete, I Am Athlete, and so, you know, we talk about venture. We're talking about raising capital. Right. You know. Players Tribune, Bleacher Report, Uninterrupted, you know, hell, all these major brands have gone through that and brought in partners. Right. So I'm in a process now, and I envision closing a $20 million round here soon. Wow. And so now it's like paper, because it doesn't even matter if you don't get the people right. Like, think about what you're talking about. Like, you got to create a culture that is healthy and sustainable, that where people can come in and feel okay. Like, yeah, it's okay for us to fail. Right. But let's keep learning. And so if I can put together and retain an A-class team, then that A-class team is going to put that process in, and that process is going to give us an opportunity to take the product that we already have, the template that we already created, and do it every single day. So it's paper, people, process, then a product, in that order.
Nah, man, I think for the people listening to this, like, you have to take it seriously about what your dreams and your goals are and invest in that, right? There's a saying out there that if you don't invest in your own dreams, eventually you're going to be working for someone else investing in their dreams. So I want to encourage you to say, continue doing what you're doing as far as investing in your dream and what you're building. And also know this, right? I don't pick sides on anything that or whatever's going on, but there is something special about being the original. You know what I mean? And like, I want to encourage you in that, to no matter what's going on behind the scenes, because I don't know, but know that you have such a huge platform, and so many people want to be a part of that and actually join in that with you. And I know that at the end of the day, you're going to come out winning. So I just wanted to say that to you, my guy.
Bro. No, I appreciate it, man. And appreciate you giving me this opportunity to speak on your platform. And like I said, when we first started, man, like you're one of those ones, and I didn't know that you made the top 25, but I'm not surprised, right? Like I'm actually here at Complex Sports now. And so, they put that list together. But when
Right.
I watch you, I'm so impressed. Like you got the skill, you got the art, there's an art and science to it, and then the work ethic, like crazy, crazy. Let me hold something.
Appreciate you, homie, and shout out to Complex Mag and the people that work there because I hadn't talked to anybody from there. So when they put me on the list, I'm like, oh man, I'm honored.
That's
Shouted
right.
them out and everything, and we're gonna keep climbing and continue to do that. And I know that you're gonna get out there and do that. I know Cam's mission is to be on the list, but not be on the list, but be number one. Well, guess what, Cam Newton? You ain't the only one. I'm coming for everything. So before I let you get out of here, I want to hit you with some quick ones real fast. So if there's a team in the playoffs that you could play for right now, because I know you had the most receiving yards of any wide receiver in the NFL history that didn't play in a playoff game,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that that's something that's like a downer. Like you had a long, illustrious career, and I wish you would have had an opportunity to win a Super Bowl and play in one, but it's just hard. It's just hard to do.
Yeah.
But if there was a team that you could play for right now, who would it be?
I would say the 49ers, not because it's the 49ers and, year after year, they're right there. But Kyle Shanahan is the reason why I got drafted to the Denver Broncos. He was the wide receiver coach at the Houston Texans, and they just brought in Eric Moulds, and he brought me in on my visit. And he's like, look, we're not going to take a guy, so let's just watch film. So he sat in his office, and we just watched film. This is pre-draft process. Right. And I was scheduled to fly back to Orlando, back home, to continue my training. As I'm sitting in the lobby, I get a call from my agent, Kennard McGuire. He's like, hey, you're now going to Denver. Long story short, from that 5-minute window, he calls his dad, Kyle. He's Coach Mike Shanahan. He says, if you don't draft this kid, I'm never showing up to any holidays anymore. You need to go get Brandon Marshall. And I was drafted in the 4th round. So that's awesome. I know that system. I came up in that system. I love that system, and I love that family.
No, that's awesome to hear. And I've said this to many people. They talk about my time in DC and my time with the Shanahans in my first 2 years. There's a lot of stuff that happened there that went wrong. But there's one thing for sure. Kyle Shanahan is the smartest and best play caller I have ever been around in my entire NFL career. And that's without a shadow of a doubt. So when you look at the NFL today, who are your top 5 wide receivers currently?
Top 5 wide receivers currently, obviously you got to throw Tyreek Hill up there, no particular order. Take the easy way out. So Tyreek Hill.
I like it.
Justin Jefferson missed so many games, but he still went over 1,000 yards. I'm a big Stephon Diggs fan. I throw a big guy out there, and we always overlook him. But Mike Evans.
Thank you.
Hey, come on, y'all stop disrespecting the big wide receivers. This dude, what is it, 10 years in a row, over 1,000? So I'm going to respect it if y'all not. So you want to go Jamar Chase? Do you want to go A.J. Brown? Keenan Allen? Like, where you want to go? Where you want to go?
It's up to you. You got to pick. That's why top 5 is always hard because, there's guys that are worthy of being on that list that you're going to cut out.
Help me out, brother.
I would say Jamar Chase. I'd say Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase. No disrespect to the other guys, but when you look at a guy like Jamar who can play inside and outside, right? He's got the strength. Like you were a guy that they said was like one of the hardest guys to tackle, and you wanted to punish people. I feel like Jamar Chase kind of has a little bit in him, but he can also take the top off.
Keenan Allen, I see you though, baby. Oh my goodness, Devontae Adams. We left Devontae. No way. This is. Why'd you do this?
You can take him off. You can take Jamar Chase off and put Devontae Adams on. Like best route runner in the league, in my opinion. Keenan Allen's right there second. But
Devontae Adams is like 1, and then everybody's 1A. Then
all right, then you put Devontae Adams on and take Jamar Chase off.
No, you keep him on.
Okay.
I get it. So it's like my top 6.
The top 6. Devontae Adams in the top 6. You funny. Hey, listen, these people see these lists, they be like, hey, yo, what's up, bro? What you talking about, man? I'm one of the top 5 receivers. What you talking about? It is what it is. But when you talk about receivers, me and you both know this, as a quarterback and a wideout, that relationship is super important. That's and one of the quarterbacks that you have the most history with, I would say, is a guy like Jay Cutler. So I want you to give me your funniest Jay Cutler story, and then obviously like your worst Jay Cutler story.
The funniest Jay Cutler story. Oh man, the funniest Jay Cutler story. And the worst Jay Cutler story.
Whichever one pops up first.
I say funny. It's just like Jay was just such a. You said we can curse. Yes. He was such a dick. Like, bro, it's like, I'll go out there run a route and maybe I wore something that he ain't like that day.
Right.
I may have said something to me that maybe it was a little too edgy, and then he'll throw the ball in the dirt. Like I run a beautiful comeback, and then the ball just hit the ground, and I'm like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? So there were so many moments like that. And look, I give Jay Cutler a hard time, but I will say, like, he taught me a lot. He did a lot of things off the field, the books that I read, parenting. I would walk in the cafeteria, and these are the things that people didn't see. He'll be sitting and reading a book. It's like, what are you doing? Even, diet, nutrition, changing that type of lifestyle up. So I learned so much from Jay Cutler, but Jay Cutler was a dick. He really was. I love Jay Cutler. I did love Jay Cutler, and yeah, amazing.
No, I don't think anyone would disagree. Like, I've had my own encounters with Jay, and he was fine. I didn't have to be a teammate with him, so that's different. And I think the overwhelming majority of people that have been teammates with him would agree with what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't that. Like, for me, he was just that. It was just me.
You.
Okay, so the second, but as a teammate, you would love him.
Okay.
But for me, it was that, like you said, that special relationship. I was almost like baby brother to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I understand it. You're saying he was a dick to you in a baby brother type of way.
That's right.
I got you.
That's right.
Who was the toughest corner you ever went up against?
Toughest corner I ever went against is Darrelle Revis. Revis, oh my goodness. It's like, in his prime, you could barely get down the field, 5 yards down the field. Darrelle Revis, and it was like 4-year span where, you got to think about the list. T.O. Chad, Ocho Cinco, Marvin Harrisons of the world, Steve Smiths of the world, the Andre Johnson of the world, that list, and it was like 50 yards, 40 yards.
Shut them all
70
down.
yards, 80 yards. Randy Moss was on that list too. Like,
what was it about Revis that made him so special?
Technique.
Okay.
Mindset. Bruh, like impeccable technique. But the one thing that we didn't understand is he was one of the strongest dudes on the field. So once he got into you, you ain't going nowhere.
I got 2 bangers for you, then we're done. Antonio Pierce, right, for the Raiders. The angle I have with this conversation is the fact that you played for Josh McDaniels in Denver. What was it about him in Denver that you saw the same thing in Las Vegas and just knew it wasn't going to work out?
Well, I don't know because I wasn't there. But the thing that I noticed in Denver was didn't I lead people? Like, there's no other way to say it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like how you talked about Kyle Shanahan. Bro, when you talk about genius when it comes to X's and O's in football and then telling you what's going to happen before it's going to happen, I've never been around a brighter mind in football. But then when it comes to, like, your team is on a bus, like, hey, we got a game. It's 12 o'clock. The bus is taking off. Go to the airport. And everybody is on that bus. If the owner's taking a bus, and also general manager, head coach, period. 12:01, the bus is going. Find your own way. Or there was times we would sit on the bus at 12:30, 12:45, and we're sitting there. I'm calling like, Coach, what are you doing? You about to take the Notre Dame job? No, I'm putting on the final touches on the game plan. Final touches on the game plan is Saturday. If you don't know by now, we're going to lose. like, come on, who does that? You got 90, you got 100-something people waiting 30, 45 minutes for you? Right. No, you can't do that. So, this, it's this locker room and that environment. You got, the best of the best and alphas, and you got to know how to lead and speak to people, meet them where they're at. Right. So that was his struggle. Yeah,
and I feel like that's where Antonio Pierce has a strength. Former player, understands the connectivity, but I'm a firm believer in, and this is backed up by the stats, right? There's no correlation between being an NFL coordinator and being a successful NFL coach. There's no correlation between being a great college coach and being a great NFL coach.
That's right.
It's all just a blind shot in the darkness. And what you need to do as a head coach, in my personal opinion, is you have to get grown men who have kids and a whole lot of other responsibilities to buy into your vision of what the team should be and make it their identity.
That's right.
That to me is what makes a great head coach. They can lead those guys, they rock with them, and they feel like they're playing.
Would you ever get into coaching? You look like you seem like you may be a phenomenal at the pro
Listen,
level.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Just
It's
answer the
certainly
question, bro. Come on, just answer the
yes,
question.
yes. I want to get into
Ooh.
coaching. I believe that it's a passion, and it's one of those things of where does it start? Because in today's league, or should I say yesterday's league, you had to start at the bottom. And
Yeah.
you got to work at as an
What kind of
assistant and do
offense?
all
We
these
gonna
different
get there.
stuff.
Don't matter. We okay. What offense you gonna run? Ooh, RG3 offense. Ooh.
I'm gonna run a combination of the Shanahan system with the spread RPOs that we see so prevalent in college today. Why would I take a college quarterback and put him in a system that doesn't accentuate what he
Okay.
did in
I'm
college?
taking over the show right now, baby. Just let me. Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
Now, your offense. You got
Yep.
you running the show.
Yep.
What quarterback are you going to go get right now? You got to pick from these 32 that's
Right.
starting in the NFL right now.
Right.
Who's your number one?
My number one is Lamar Jackson.
Ooh,
I believe that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the NFL, in the galaxy, in the universe. But I'm going with Lamar Jackson because he's going to bail me out of more things than any other quarterback in the NFL. And Mahomes is great at extending the play, but there's nobody that can do what Lamar Jackson can do. And I've seen it firsthand on the sideline as his backup.
Here we go. Hey, you need a receiver coach?
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. Last question I got for you. And we out of here. Bro, you tried to box? I heard you called out Fury, Wilder, Joshua. You was calling out everybody. What happened with that? I couldn't find what happened with you in boxing.
See, that's when sometimes, you go wrong when you got the camera on. Like, I was feeling too good. I was over here in Brooklyn, legendary Jim Gleason's gym, Eric Kelly, my trainer. I played for the Jets and the Giants, so
right.
I'm real familiar with the boxing scene out here. And so I'm in there right before I was going on TV, Showtime. Every single Tuesday I would go in there. Boom, I'm hitting the mitts. I'm feeling really good about myself. They put the camera in my face. I'm thinking I'm Muhammad Ali. I started talking trash. Anthony Wilder ain't got nothing on me. Boom. Ruiz, what? Joshua, Fury, like I'm talking like that.
Oh, you was talking.
Yeah, but I'm not thinking like this little old trainer, like he got reach.
Right. You didn't think he was going to go anywhere.
He goes, wow. So, bro, like for 5 years, I had to maintain like, no, I'm coming. I'm gonna do boxing. People like you just did. People still ask me about that, but that whole thing was just me just talking trash in the ring, not thinking that this little clip was gonna go viral. So that's why you gotta be careful, bro. When there's cameras around, bro, you better watch what you say.
That's true. You're not trying to pull a Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell type of situation.
Adrian Peterson, he's still asleep.
Yo,
I love you, AP. I love you, boy, and you better respond at chess.com. Come on.
Oh.
Like, I'm tired of waiting. And then you play AP in chess, his ass take 3 days to make a move. Come on, AP.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you said he's still asleep, so that's probably why.
That was so bad. Like, I was just playing AP, but golly.
No, we got love for AP. He was on the show.
That's the locker room, though. Hey, that's the locker. That's what happened. You walk in the locker room like.
He tried to get back. He's still trying to get back in the NFL, or he was. And I'm like, bro, what they gonna say about him in the locker room if they saw Le'Veon Bell knocked him out? Like, God dang, there's no coming back from that. Right as we bounce, you think the Chicago Bears should keep Justin Fields?
You think Justin Fields should keep the Chicago Bears?
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'll give you my little quick 30 seconds. Justin Fields and what's the head coach, Matt Eberflus? I believe that the Bears should make both of them, finish the year this next year for their jobs. If you bring in a new quarterback with the same coach, the likelihood of that team being successful is small, very small. You're going to end up firing the coach, and you're going to give that new quarterback a second head coach in a small amount of time. That's not what you want. Let those two compete it out, work together to try to go win. And then if it doesn't work out, then it is what it is. Don't exercise a 5th-year option. Just go all in for this year, build the roster around Fields, and let it be what it is. But I agree with you. There's a little bit of Justin Fields camp that might not want to be in Chicago. You never know. All right, my guy. I appreciate you coming on the show. It's a great conversation. Like I said, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Have a great time and believe in your vision. And it all will all work out the way you want it to work out. Big fan of you as a player. Big fan of you as a media personality, an Emmy-nominated media personality. And I know the future is bright.
Thanks, bro.
Nah, appreciate you, homie. All right, people, that's a wrap for episode 19 of RG3 and The Ones. Want to say a huge shout out to the beast, Brandon Marshall, for coming on the show and having an amazing conversation and allowing you guys to leave with at least one thing that you can apply to your own life to help you become the one in that bad boy as well. So make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel at RG3 and The Ones. Make sure you listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And once again, I have to say, RG3 and The Ones is a Wave Sports and Entertainment original presented by PrizePicks. And it could not be possible without my producers and also without Whispering Oaks Productions. I absolutely love them. They have to deal with me every single day, but without them, without the creativity that they bring to the table every single week, this show would not be possible. So I want you guys to give them a huge shout out by liking and subscribing to our YouTube page and also understanding that without you guys, this thing isn't possible. So, before we leave, I always want to give you guys a little bit of knowledge. And I just have to say, the world that we live in today, it always tries to break you down and make you feel like your life is meaningless. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. Everybody is somebody to somebody. So someone out there is looking up to you, and what you do can impact their life in a positive way. So make sure you go out and you do that. You do matter. And also, this is my sign to you that it's time to take your Christmas tree down. I got mine right here, and it's almost February, but at the end of the day, who doesn't like Christmas, man? Who doesn't like Christmas trees? But I'll say right now, we all got to take them away, people. Let's do it together. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.